say, okay, it's a little after 5 o'clock, and every Tuesday night from 5 to 6 o'clock do live coaching on here. So if you ever want to do it and you're watching this recorded, then make sure you log on and register on. Sometimes we have 1 or 2 people, sometimes we have 10 or 20, so it depends on the day, depends on the night. Kathy Allen, you are on right now, and I want to help you with anything in your business that has been keeping you from hitting your success or what's going on right now. You and I had talked previously before, and you've got a buyer with a unique situation. You want to tell me about that situation again?
Actually, she's a seller. She's moving out of the state. She's moving to California. She would like to sell her house. However, she needs to sell it for more than what the market will bear right now.
Okay.
So she's thinking about putting it for rental for 6 months to a year.
Okay. What do you think about that?
Because of what? Well, I'm trying to figure out a way. I don't think that I can work out anything. She lives in Cypress Springs, and the most that I could find in that area, there really hasn't been a lot sold out there. Mostly what has been sold has either been foreclosure or REO bank owned. The only normal sale I saw was only listed at like 106, 105 to 106. She needs to get about 114. So
if she can get 114, does that give her enough net that she can get down to California?
Right.
Okay.
Right. She's going to go irregardless.
And you've done a seller net sheet with her? And does she know what her takeaway is if she sells at 114 after the 6% commission and the fees and title, etc.?
Well, she would not. She owes 208 on it, and then with the commission and the closing fees and everything, it would be, she would not really walk away with a bunch.
She owes 208 or 108?
208.
And you said it's worth 114?
No, I mean she would, in order to get what she would need to out of the closing, it would have to sell. Her house size is 1977.
You're talking about 114 price per square foot and 106 the price per square foot. Got it. I thought you were talking about 114,000. Okay.
No. Now the house itself, she purchased it for 220. She knows right now she owes 208 on it.
Okay, purchased
I'd
at
be able to
220.
sell it and get it.
Okay. Owes 208. And how big is it?
1977 square.
1977. And you said the comp is about 106. You feel it can sell for about 209, about 210.
Right. That leaves her holding, holding all of her closing costs and
she needs to get 1977 times $114 per you. She needs 225.
Right.
So you're about $15,000 off.
Right.
Because at 225, you feel she can net where she won't have to bring cash to the table.
Correct.
Okay. So why don't we do a CMA to say, is it possible that in this market she can get 225? Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. See, I think that she will be able to. When I've done some of the research out in that area, there's some very nice homes out in there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are very large, and I mean, I think the value, just right now, the values are not up where they need to be, so that's the issue.
Now, would you like to drive, or you would like me to drive?
You can go ahead and drive, because I'm not sure that I can get into this.
No, I can give you control of my mouse.
Oh. Go ahead and do it. I'll watch.
Okay.
Probably be faster for you.
So when you go to it to get a price point, what do you do? What's the first thing you do to look for to get a CMA done?
What I do is I go into search.
Okay.
And then I pinpoint where her property is.
What's her address?
Her address is let's see, what is her address? It is 2747 Daybreak Drive, 32825.
There we go. So you've got the address, and what do you do?
Okay, and then you can draw up to well, I only did like a mile around it. But I'm thinking, after going out and looking at the neighborhood, because Cypress Springs, the way it's arranged, is like one main road down through there, and then there's all these little cul-de-sacs off from it. But I still couldn't really find anything.
What I'd like to do, and have you teach this, a mile is a good starting point for a CMA. However, you've got a very large establishment, a very large neighborhood here. So rather than saying I'm going to leave it at 1 mile, let's go ahead and take a look at the neighborhood. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So this is Curry Ford. So we're going to start right here at the corner of Curry Ford. And I'm using the polygon shape, and everything right here is part of Cypress Springs, right?
Right.
This is Dean right here, I believe. This is not part of it, or is it?
It kind of stops at Dean Road. It's it's kind of on the corner of Dean and Curry Ford.
And this is Dean right here, right?
I think so.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this right here.
That's 417. Yeah, I think it probably is.
We're going to do this right here, and it looks like you can see a break right here. To make sure we get this little lip. Now we've got all of Cypress Springs.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got our true comps, and you can see what's active in there. Here's one active for 240 right next door. We'll have to take a look at that. Okay, so now this is what we've got. And to do a CMA, you want to look at what is sold, correct?
Right.
How far back are you going with what's sold?
I went back, well, at first I tried just going back 3 months, and then I went back 6 months, and then I went back a year.
Okay.
And there really wasn't a lot, in the area that I searched in.
What I challenge you to do, rather than going back a year, I challenge you to get different spots as far as the map goes.
Different spots?
Yeah. Rather than going back a year, this market is completely different than a year ago. So for you to use that as a comp, it's nuts. I'd rather you go across the street to get overlays.
Just pick a different cross section to try that is close.
Yeah. Use other neighborhoods, do something else. So I'm going to go to March to June. We're going to see what we've got for that. 16 matches right now. 16 is a decent low price pool. Now we've got to narrow it down. You mentioned that the square feet was 1977, right?
Right.
So let's go about 300 up and 300 down.
Okay.
6 matches. We know it's a single family, so we want to keep it single family. What's the bedroom? What's the bath?
There's 4 bedrooms, 3 baths.
Okay, so I'm going to go for 3 bedroom to 4 bedroom. We can make those adjustments. And then 2 baths to 3 baths. 5 matches still. So we got 5 matches in Cypress Springs in the last 3 months that have sold within pretty close square foot. Let's take a look at it and see if they are true comps. Does this house have a pool or anything?
No, it does not have a pool. It has a fenced-in backyard, but other than that, it's pretty basic. I mean, it's clean.
Okay. Does it have any conservation?
No.
Okay. So here's what we're looking at. Here's what is sold in the past 3 months. Now, I'm making that as a reference point because I want you to keep in mind. Let's turn the map off here. Let's see. So we're seeing 167, 76, 87, 203, 200. Far stretch from 225 at this point. However, let's take a look at some things. Sold date all over a month ago. So what do we know as the market has done in the past 12 months?
It's gone up.
How much?
What did they list? A total of, since the beginning of the year, is it 15%?
So year to date, yeah, about 15%. In the last 12 months, got about 20%.
I think the last month, what did it do? Like almost 3%.
It's doing about 1.5% to 2% a month. That's kind of what we're seeing. So if we use a 1.75% per month, and that's off statistics, and if you really wanted to get into it, take a look at what this has done in Cypress Springs. But overall, in Central Florida, we've seen about 1.75% increase. So right off the bat, if we take a look at some of these houses at the one that was sold in April or March, 3 months ago, it's already gone up about 5%. Okay? So if we take a look at 200 was the sale price, and we times it by 1.05%, it's already 210. So now, today it's worth 210. Okay? This is probably close to 210 as well. And then here we're looking at a little bit different. You said it's a 4.3?
Yeah.
So even at 210, look, this is a 4.2. You've got some square foot over here, very almost identical square foot. So same square foot, lose the bedroom, lose the bathroom, same neighborhood, and it's at 210. Now if it's at 210 today, you should list houses 90 days from now of what it'll sell at and what it'll appraise, because that's when you're really going to sell it, right?
Right.
Because you're going to spend a couple weeks on the market, and then it's going to be under contract in the 90 days. So if we add another 5% to 210, then what are we looking at? That's another 3 months down based on some statistics. That's 220.
Right.
Now you're at 220 just with the way this market has been moving, because in 6 months it's gone up almost 10%. And that's what we know from the first year to date that we've seen. It's gone up that much.
Right.
So now you're at 220 for a comp, and she needs 225.
So it's pretty close.
You're not a far stretch off, because keep in mind, this is a 4.3, this is a 3.2.
Right.
You go in there at 225, you're going to get some action.
Right.
Let's see who listed this. Oh, this is pretty cool. 3 of them are ours, and 4 of them are our brokerage. Let's take a look at some of these. Yeah, nice.
Right.
So who did this one? Cindy Ziegler. So this is somewhere you can call Cindy. You can take a look inside. So how does this compare to your house? This is a clean house.
Yeah.
All right? Does yours compare to this?
Yeah, I think it does compare. The back deck isn't as big as this. The back deck is small.
Okay.
But it does have a screened and tiled back deck.
So you got some hot tub there as well. So there's a website, and I wasn't prepared knowing what this was, but I think it's Property Experts, Kelly Kellogg. Let's see if this is what I was looking for. The Appraisal Experts. Okay. So where did I find? There's a source here that we can get a cheat sheet. Agent checklist, price per square foot, market decline. I'm going to find it on here. But somewhere on this site, you'll be able to find a cheat sheet of what she uses. It's kind of a nice little guide for you. If you have a comp and something has a conservation versus not a conservation lot, what is the value? If you have an extra bathroom, what's the value? Extra bedroom, what is the value? What's the price per square foot?
Oh, yeah.
That sort of thing. Somewhere on this site, so take a look at it, appraisal-experts.com, and you'll be able to get a good guide, really looking strictly off the price point of what this house has done in the past 3 months, and for you to price it 6 months ahead. List it at 225. If she's willing to be patient, she's going to go out there, because you know what? If you list it at 225 and nobody shows it, or 15 and 20 people show it, nobody's writing an offer, then yeah, you can talk about price reduction, or you can talk about renting it.
Right.
And if you do,
so you think that it would be okay? You know, because I know her, I don't want to lead her astray. You know, but I think that certainly people would look at it. Now, whether 225 is too high for that area, I don't really know, though.
You know what? You're
I
not
think
going
that
to know
area,
unless you do it. Here's what we know, is we've got less than 3 months inventory. There's 5-to-1 buyers. This is the prime hot picking for 32825, good school zone, single-family home, 2,000 square feet, a lot of first-time home buyers out there. And they're going to be fighting for this. So what if it does appraise at 217? Well, someone might come in and pay $8,000 cash extra above appraisal because they've lost the other 9 offers they've gone after.
And it is a nice family neighborhood. I mean, she lived there.
Cypress
It's a
Springs
very
is very
nice
desirable.
family neighborhood. Yeah.
Going at 225. Let her see this. Let her know why you feel that we can come close to 225 because of the market that we're in. And then keep an eye on it. And if you're getting showings, get the feedback from the people.
Right.
Who's your competition right now? Have you take a look at that?
My competition as far as out there?
Yeah. Oops, don't want everything. That's important. That's important.
Pending type sales.
Do you have one person in your competition with your area at 208? So we take a look at this. You have a buyer. Why are they going to buy yours over this one at 208? They probably won't at 225. This is George Philbeck, traditional listing, another one of ours. It'll plug the Advantage Group again. And it's traditional listing. So you're going to say, okay, I'm competing against this. Well, at 208, this looks pretty sharp. Maybe some carpet needs to be replaced. Not really much upgrades in the kitchen, so it depends on that buyer. If you want a buyer who wants turnkey and some luxury, maybe yours has it. I think it's definitely worth you listing it. You can list above market value right now because the buyers are throwing themselves at you. In worst case scenario, an offer comes in at 215. Guess what? You can negotiate it. Now if she's got an offer and she can be at 218, maybe she brings $5,000 to the table and she's done with it and go out over to California and get out of their life.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I said, are you sure you want to rent this thing out all the way from California? And I was going to refer her out for it, but still, you know, I mean, that's a long ways. So.
It depends on the motivation. If she can say $5,000 and done with it, go with it. Now, if she can afford to rent and it doesn't affect her one bit, what's her mortgage? Do you have any idea what her monthly payment is?
$1,500 a month.
She's paying $1,500 a month.
That's for taxes, insurance, and mortgage. I finally got that out of her.
Okay, so she's paying $1,500 a month. What's HOA?
Her HOA, she told me, was
$184 quarterly.
She's got one that's quarterly, but she gave me a monthly average. Let me just look.
It's about $60 a month. About $61.25.
Yeah, it's about $60 a month, she said.
Okay. So you add another 720. I'm sorry, 60. So this is 1560 just for her to break even. What could she get for rental? She'd probably be able to get 14.
Yeah, that's what I tried to tell her, that you're probably not going to break even. You're going to be paying money out of pocket even.
So would you rather write a check every month and have it from 2,000 miles away? Because likely she's going to have a property manager. So now she's bringing more money to the table because she's paying 10% fees. And if she can do that because the offer is increasing and sell it in 6 months, then that's best for her. But if she can't, she's not far off. Yeah. Go list it at 225.
All right.
Be prepared to do some price reductions. Be prepared to get some buyer feedback and monitor it. Just because houses sell in 2 days now doesn't mean every house in the listing has to sell in 2 days. Go put it up there and do some aggressive price reductions based on the showings. You'll be good to go.
All right.
Cool?
Okay. All right.
All right. Let's move down. What else you got?
Yeah.
Anyone else on the call so far? Let me see. Anyone else out there? Nope. Still you. I'm feeling popular today.
Huh?
Yeah, last week we had, what, 12 people on there? Now we have one-on-one. I must have done a bad job last week.
No, not really. No, you didn't at all.
Thank you.
They probably just got tied up. You know how that goes.
I can appreciate that. So tell me about your week.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Well, basically, this week has been really nothing except working at the hospital and making me want to get out of there even more.
This is being recorded, so don't tell us what hospital it is. That way you don't get fired.
No.
Okay.
No.
So let me ask you, what is your job as a realtor? I said this before in past coachings. I want to hear you say it. What's your job?
Lead generation.
What else?
Closings.
No, that's not your job. That's the result of your job.
That's a result of my job.
You can't tell me the hospital that the 15th is your job when you get paid. No, that's the result of you doing your job.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a people job, meeting people and.
What's your job? You got this. I've said it. I'm gonna say it every time. Lead generate.
Yeah.
When you lead generate, it creates what?
Contacts.
Which lead to?
Let me think.
After you meet somebody, what's your goal after you meet them?
Add them to my database.
and then? You're going to kick yourself. This is a very easy answer.
I'm sure it is. My brain is not working at this point.
It starts with an A and ends with an appointment.
Oh, appointment, yeah.
Yeah. Go on appointments.
Yes.
Okay. How many appointments have you had in the last week?
3, but, well, actually, 1, 2, yeah, 3.
3. You added a but. What's the but?
Well, because I was going to say actually 4, but it was actually 3 because I met with an attorney, I met with another vendor, and then I met with the potential sale.
Okay, so of the 3, 2 were allied resources and 1 was a sale.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's talk about the 1 as a sale. Buyer or seller?
Seller.
Is it this one we just talked about?
Yes.
Okay, so we already know the result of that. What's your goal? How many appointments a week do you need to hit your goal?
I actually need at least 1 appointment a week to hit my goal currently.
So you hit your goal. Fantastic. Let me ask you, what does your appointments look like for this week?
This week, I do not have any appointments at this point.
What are you going to do about that?
I am going to make some appointments.
How?
Call people.
Who?
I have a girl that works in a dentist office that has been in Hawaii, and she's going to be out, and I'm going to try and set up an appointment with her as a contact.
Okay, so another allied resource.
Well, she's.
I love that you're counting allied resources appointments. I don't want you to give yourself a false sense of accomplishment. It's absolutely vital to have these appointments, especially beginning your career with allied resources. However, they're not looking to buy, sell, or invest. And those are the magic 3. Who do you know wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate today? It's great for getting future things. I want you to focus on those appointments. Because you can have 12 allied resource appointments, and that's going to set you up great in 9 months. Well, what have you done for me lately? So tell me who you're going to meet this week and talk to them with an appointment as far as buying, selling, or investing in real estate.
I have to find someone.
Okay, so what's your plan of action to do that?
I have to make phone calls and probably knock doors if it's not 100 degrees. But I need to find someone who is interested in buying, selling, or investing.
Okay, so where are you going to start? Pretend we're doing that right now. Who would you call?
My sphere, I have several people that I still can call and ask who they know.
Good. Yeah, get the appointment. That is your job.
Mm-hmm.
And you will never be able to leave the hospital like you wish until you start doing enough money and do enough business on this side of the job.
Right.
Your motivation every morning to wake up is to make an appointment. Okay? When's your next day off of hospital that you can dedicate fully to real estate?
Tomorrow.
Okay, what is on your to-do list, your should-do list tomorrow? Tell me about your time block for tomorrow. What's your day look like?
Well, I have you down at 8 to 9, and then lead gen from 9 to 11:30. I need to call this potential sale back. and see if I can meet with her again.
Good. That does not count for appointments. I want new appointments. I want new blood.
No.
So from 9 to 11:30, you are ready to lead generate tomorrow. Who are you going after? You said database.
I have, you want me to pull them up?
Nope. I just want you to have a plan. Do you have? If you have the plan, I'm good. In 2.5 hours, how many dials can you make?
Oh, probably, let me think. I can probably make 30 to 40, probably 30.
All right, 30 dials in 2.5 hours. So that's looking at 150 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Divided by 30. Every 5 minutes, you're dialing a new number.
As long as I don't talk, I guess. Maybe I better.
Well, I think 30 is extremely efficient. Shoot for 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll shoot for 30, and if I make 20, then I will feel like I had an okay day.
You just told yourself that you're shooting for 20 then. Shoot for 30. Go get 30.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll shoot for 30.
How many contacts, conversations do you think you can get based on what you've done with 30 dials?
What do you mean?
You're dialing 30 people. Not all of them are going to pick up the phone.
Right.
How many of them do you expect?
Yeah, probably, let me think, probably about a quarter of that if I'm lucky.
Okay, so you're looking at about 8.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it nice because now you've got 150 minutes divided by 8 conversations. That's almost 20 minutes of conversation.
Right.
That's a long time. So you can definitely do 30. Do not settle for that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you told me 28 picked up the phone, rock and roll. Just keep going.
Probably about, I would say the average is about a quarter of the people that I dial actually pick up the telephone.
Do you leave messages?
I do leave messages depending on, like we called last week for the foreclosures that are going to be coming out, so I left messages for people, hey, I have some interesting information that you might be interested in. Other realtors, though, in other states. So,
okay. How many of them called you back?
none.
Ooh, ouch. Okay. How many did you leave messages?
I got, what did I get? 6 contacts and 1 potential investor, or who works with investors, actually.
That's good. I want to stay focused on what we're doing, though. I want you to think about conversion, so I'm going to cut you off there. How long does it take you to leave a voice message?
How long does it take me to leave a voice message? Less than a minute.
We'll call it 30 seconds?
Yeah.
So here's what we're looking at. Let's just do some math, because this is where my mind goes, and you don't have to be a numbers junkie like I am. Let's think about this. 30 calls, 8 contacts, okay, which leaves us 22 voice messages at 30 seconds apiece. Okay? That's an extra 11 minutes.
Uh-oh, I can make more calls.
Aha! How many more calls can you make?
At least 11 minutes.
You can probably do 1 a minute and go talk to 2 people.
Yeah, yeah.
So another 10 calls. Okay. Maybe another 1 to 2 contacts.
Right.
Is that going to increase your chance? Because nobody called you back anyway.
Right.
I didn't know what money trial was going to go down. If you said of those 22 voice messages, you got 15 returns, good stuff. Rock and roll. You've got a good voice message that's working. If they're not calling you back, then don't leave them. Because guess who you call first thing tomorrow morning?
Same person.
You start with the 22 dials that didn't pick up. And then you go find 8 more somewhere else. And of that 22, how many of them are going to pick up? You told me about 25%, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to call it 6 contacts. Guess what you get to start the next day?
The one that didn't answer the last time.
16 dials plus 14 more. You get this game? 4 contacts. Because if they're not picking up, they just missed a phone call.
Right.
And you're going to get them on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
So instead of leaving a message, just call them back.
Call them back the next day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
it does.
I'm going to share with you a sheet I've got. Okay? This is my 30 calls, call it. I'm going to take them off here real fast because I got people's names. Maybe I guess you could rewind this and watch it. But I've got it on there, and if I'm talking to them, I make a contact sheet and put it in eEdge and update it. If I don't, I just leave it blank. And you saw some were color-coded and some were not. If they're color-coded and I rank them how the conversation go, if they're not, I'm going to start tomorrow morning and go right back at the top of everyone who's white. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you color code on how effective, if you got a hold of them and how the conversation went.
I'm going to rank them, a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Where are they at? Where do I need to be? Put it in eEdge, make an action plan. This is the goal. You should get this. Of the 8 contacts, how many appointments do you think you can get? And the referrals?
If I get 8 contacts, I should be able to get 2 or 3 appointments.
2 to 3 appointments. So tomorrow you can get 2 to 3 appointments.
I sure would hope so, but
Now,
at least one. At least one.
You're going for 2 to 3 because here's what's nice. You're going to become such a machine at this that in 6 months you're going to know this conversion rate down to the percentage. And you're going to know that you can do 27 phone calls in 2.5 hours. That'll yield you 11 contacts, which typically will yield you 2.5 appointments. Okay? Your goal is just 1 appointment. Let's say it was 2.5, and then you came full time and you said, I want to sell 5 homes. And you need 5 appointments, and you go on your conversion rate again and again and again. All you have to do is say, well, if I just up this to 40, and I up this to 12, this naturally goes to 3. You get this game? It's just a big numbers game. I want your mind to go there. I think it automatically says, I'm going to lead generate. Pat me on the back. Give me a high five because I'm lead generating. Yay! What are you getting out of lead generating? What are you doing? Who are you talking to? Because if you lead generate and you hurry up and get ready, then you think about it, and then you follow up, and then you go talk to somebody about how the call went, and you want to make 10 calls, and you want to make 2 contacts, and now you didn't even make 1 appointment, maybe, because you have to get it every other day.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
So if you truly have 2.5 hours tomorrow, that's a lot of time. And if it's going to be 2.5 hours of dialing, that means you need about a half hour of prep time and a half hour of follow-up time. Because if you're going 2.5 hours, we did that actually on the phone. You need to follow up so you can organize all of your thoughts and create an action plan. You need prep so you can have the action plan printed up and lot it out there. And just like I've got it all saved right here, bloop, I'm able to just dial and smile. That's it.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So lead generation's your job. When you lead generate, know what you intend to get out of it and go get it. And if you don't, figure out why. Go on appointments. Every day, one of 3 things. Make an appointment. Have an appointment. Negotiate a contract. Write a contract. Your other part of the job, I'll do it right here. You tell me, you've got lead gen, go on appointments. I already said it.
Negotiate contract.
Lead gen, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, practice. There's one more I'm forgetting. I have a little brain fart. Coach has been stumped. I'll think of it in the middle of the night. Wake up at 2 a.m. That's it. And I'll just text you. You'll be at work anyway. I want you to focus on 1 and 2. You focus on 1 and 2, everything else falls into place. Practice and role play. This is so these conversion rates go from, instead of 10 calls to 2 contacts, it goes to here. You can do the same amount of effort and get twice the results by practicing a role plan, by getting better.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So the fun thing for you is you get to get a lecture again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
That's all right. That's okay.
All right. So what else is going on? Are we good for the rest of the day? We'll call this a short session and move on.
Yeah, I think so.
What's your action plan? What are you going to do as a result of this phone call?
As a result of this phone call, I'm going to make my list of people I'm calling tonight.
Good job.
From my database.
Good.
And have it all written down.
Good. And crank it through.
Yeah.
Good.
That makes it a whole lot easier than trying to search through it.
And that becomes your master source, and you call it every day. And if you get a hold of them, then you're going to naturally take notes on a little scribble pad. And after you're done with all your phone calls, then you take all your notes and you organize them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So if I make a list of like 40 people, say, and I call all these people and I don't get a hold of them, just add them onto my list for the following day and then add additional ones to that.
You bet. How many people in your database right now?
It's like slightly under 200.
I would start off by looking at those 200.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Well, a lot of them, though, and that's the one thing why I'm trying to build up more into my database that are around here, because I have a lot of them that are out of state. So I've been trying to build up more in this area.
Okay. Do you have them grouped in groupings?
Yes, I did start doing that finally.
Does your group say in-state and out-of-state, or like Central Florida and out of Central Florida?
They had not. Lena mentioned that also, that I should put out of Florida contacts and then in Florida contacts.
Yeah. This is when I was an agent, so I still have some groups here, and it's changed a little bit. But I had Craigslist leads, and if I want to just talk to Craigslist leads...
So you can just pull them up by
Here it is. Here's my Craigslist leads, people. I'm just going to contact them and go down and down and down and down. Here it is.
Yeah,
a lot of them you can see are kind of junky, because that's what you get from Craigslist. Yet I knew I wanted to be able to talk and go after my Craigslist people. Investors. It's a new investor special. I want to talk to all my investors this morning and let them know. Here you go, guys. I just didn't have a very good investor portfolio. You kind of get that game?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Here's my buyers.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at first. I'm realizing that more now, that it's very important to have them categorized like that, because otherwise you're kind of weeding through names trying to figure out who you're going to call.
I can search also. This is kind of neat. Let me see this. I learned this after I was an agent. But you leave comments and you leave history. Open house. So had I gone through this, and every time I met someone at open house, made a comment or history open house, and everyone who had a comment history open house would be here. So I didn't do it.
And then you can pull it up by that.
And then if I had 35 people, anyone with this comment would have 35 here. Hey, I met you in open house. I'd see the comment on there. Back in March, want to let you know I'm doing another one this week, and are you still in the market to buy? Oh, you are. Fantastic. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. Why don't we get together prior to the open house, and we'll do a consultation. You can look at all the homes that are for sale. Aha. You see how that goes?
Yeah.
This is your Bible. This is it. This is your baby. Work it.
All right.
All right, you've got some homework to do. I'm going to let you get at it. Thanks for jumping on the call.